In this lecture, I am going to explain how to solve a transportation problem. In that process, I am going to explain least cost method to find initial basic feasible solution. So consider this example. A company has 3 plants A, B, C and 3 warehouses X, Y, Z. Number of units available at the plants is 60, 70, 80 respectively. At the first plant, available amount 60 units, at B 70 units, at C 80 units. Demands at warehouses are 50, 80, 80 respectively. That is, at warehouse X, requirement 50, at Y 80, at Z, requirement 80. So demand means requirement. Unit costs of transportation are given in the following table. So these are the unit transportation costs. Okay. So what is the meaning of this table? Suppose consider this entry 8. That means per 1 unit, the transportation cost from plant A to warehouse X. From plant A to warehouse X, the unit transportation cost is 8 rupees. That is, per 1 unit transportation cost is 8 rupees. Similarly, from plant A to warehouse X, the unit transportation cost is 7 rupees. Okay. So like that, these are the unit transportation costs from various plants to various warehouses. So plants means origins, warehouses means destinations. Okay. So what would be the transportation plan? That means we have to find the number of units to be transported from different plants to different warehouses so that the total transportation cost is minimum. So give the minimum distribution cost. So clearly it is understood that this is transportation problem. So there are some plants and there are some warehouses. Number of units available at plants are given. Number of requirement amounts at warehouses are given, and unit transportation costs are also given. So clearly this is transportation problem. First, before going to solution procedure, we have to verify one condition, whether the problem is balanced problem or unbalanced problem. Okay. First we have to check that condition. First find sum of available amounts, that is sigma AI equal 60 plus 70 plus 80. 210 units. That is total available amounts 210 units. Similarly, sum of required amounts 50 plus 80 plus 80. 210 units. So both are same. So sum of available amounts equals sum of required amounts. So the problem is balanced problem. So then we can proceed. Otherwise, we have to balance. Okay, such problems are called as unbalanced problem. Okay. So here this problem is balanced problem. First we find initial basic feasible solution by least cost method. Okay. So consider the table. So write cost to the left corner of the each cell. You have to write the amounts here. Okay. So last column is available amounts at origins, and these are last row is required amounts at destinations. Take first origin as the first row, second origin as second row, third origin as third row. First column as first destination, second column as second destination, third column as third destination. Okay, right. So what is the first point in the least cost method? Where we have to start? So we have to identify the cell where we have to start. For that, in the entire table, identify the least cost cell. So observe these 9 cells. Among these cells, what is the least cost? 3. 3 is the least cost. Okay. So this is not unique. The least cost occur at 3 cells. At 1 3 cell, at 3 2 cell, at 2 1 cell. Okay. So there is a type for least cost cell. So arbitrarily we can take either of these 3 cells, either this cell or this cell or this cell. There is no rule to break the tie. Okay. So arbitrarily I take 3 2 cell. Arbitrarily I take 3 2 cell. So least cost cell in the entire table equal 3 2 cell. This is. So x32 equal for the cell available amount 80, required amount 80. So x32 equal a minimum of 80 80. That is 80. So write here 80 and circle it. That means this is basic cell. Okay, right. So what does it mean? From third origin to second destination, number of units to be transported is minimum of corresponding available amount and corresponding required amount. So both are same. So minimum value is 80. Okay. So that means the available amounts, all available amounts at third origin are transported to second destination. In other words, all required amounts at second destination are fulfilled from third origin. That means both column constraint and row constraints are satisfied. So this is the third possibility. That means in this case we get degenerate solution. Okay, how do you overcome this degenerate solution? We identify the neighboring cells. For this cell, neighboring cells are this one, this one, this one. These three cells are neighboring cells. Among these three cells, least cost cell is this is 3 cell. 3 cell. So neighboring cell with least cost equal to 3 cell. This is the least cost. So these three are neighboring cells. This is the least cost cell. So x33 equal epsilon. Assign x33 equal epsilon, which is a small quantity epsilon, and circle it. Then we cross off the row as well as column. Then cross off row 3 and column 2. So cross off row 3 and column 2. Both the constraints are satisfied simultaneously. So in this case we get degenerate solution. So what is the degenerate solution? Suppose in the solution there are exactly m plus n minus 1 strictly positive allocations. That solution is non-degenerate solution. Otherwise the solution is degenerate. Okay, right. So this is the first step. So cross off row 3. So circle row 3 and cross off column 2. Circle column 2. That means these two constraints are satisfied. So we have eliminated row 3 and column 2 from the table. Now the reduced transportation table is 2 rows and first column and third column. This is the reduced transportation table. So we repeat the same process for the reduced transportation table. In the remaining table, identify the least cost cell. Again, we have least cost cell is these two cells. Okay, so that is 1 3 cell or 2 1 cell. Again, we have tie for least cost. Arbitrarily, you can take either this cell or this cell. So I have taken this cell. So least cost cell in the remaining table equal 1 3 cell. For the x13 equal minimum of 60 80. For this cell, available amount 60, required amount 80. So we take minimum of these two values, that is 60. Minimum is 60. So write here 60 and circle it. That represent basic cell. Right. What does it mean? For this cell, the available amount is 60, required amount is 80. Okay. So the whole available amount is transported to third destination. That means row constraint is satisfied. That is first origin constraint is satisfied. So cross off row 1. So circle row 1. That means eliminate row 1 from the table. Right. At third destination, total required amount 80 units. Out of 80, 60 are transported from first origin. Still, some amount is required at third destination. How much amount? Out of 80, 60 are obtained. So 80 minus 60. So 20. Out of 80, 60 are obtained. So 80 minus 60, 20. So still 20 units are required at third destination. Okay, right. Now the resulting table is this. Only 2 cells. Among these 2 cells, least cost cell in the remaining table is this one. Only one. 2 1 cell. So x21 equal minimum of available 70, requirement 50. That is 50. So here write 50 and circle it. Right. Observe here. So column constraint is satisfied. At the first column, total required amount 50 units. The whole required amount is obtained from second origin. Okay. So cross off column 1 and circle it. Right. Observe second origin. At second origin, total available amount 70. Out of 70, 50 are transported. Remaining availability 70 minus 50, 20. Okay. Right. Now resulting table is only one cell. So remaining cell is only one cell, that is 2, 3 cell. For the cell, corresponding available amount 20, corresponding required amount 20. Okay. So finally we get only one cell. For that cell, the corresponding available amount and the corresponding required amount should be same. Then only the process is correct. Otherwise, the process is wrong. You have to keep in mind. This point. Okay. So x23 equal to minimum of 20, that is 20 per qubit. So this is the initial basic feasible solution. So all the row and column constraints are satisfied. So observe how many basic cells we have here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actual number of basic cells m plus n minus 1. That is 3 plus 3. 3 rows, 3 columns. 6 minus 1, 5. So we get 5 basic cells. Okay. Right. In the next step, we optimize this solution. So consider the initial solution. Rewrite the table by deleting this last column and the last row. So this is initial basic feasible solution. Now we have to optimize this solution using UV method or Modi method. So optimize initial basic feasible solution by UV method or Modi method. So what is the first step? We calculate U values for rows. For first row, we calculate U1. For second row, U2. For third row, U3. Next, calculate V values for columns. For first column V1, second column V2, third column V3. So what is the relation between these three? For a basic cell I comma j, the relation is corresponding U value Ui plus corresponding V value Vj equal cost of the cell Cij. So Ui plus Vj equal Cij. Okay. So we have this relation for each basic cell. Here how many cells we have? 3 plus 2, 5 cells. That means we have 5 equations. But number of unknowns? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6. 6 unknowns. So there are 5 equations in 6 variables. That means one variable is more than equations. So in that case, we can choose one variable, some arbitrary constant. Okay, arbitrary you can take any one. So to take that arbitrary constant, observe the table, identify the row or column which contain more basic variables or more basic cells. In first row, we have only one basic cell. In second row, 2 cells. In third row, 2 cells. In third column, 3 basic cells. So in third column, we have more basic cells. So we take V3, 0. It gives some easy simplification. Otherwise, you can take any one. Either you can take U1 or U2 or U3 or V1 or V2 or V3. Among these 6 variables, you can take one variable as some arbitrary constant. That constant may be 1 or 2 or minus 1, 0, whatever. Okay. So for simplicity, I take V3 equal 0. So by using this value, I calculate remaining values. Okay. So I know the V3 value. So in this column, consider this basic cell. For 3, 3 cell. For 3, 3 cell, what is the relation? Corresponding V value U3 plus corresponding V value V3 equal cost 5. So U3 plus V3 equal 5. So V3 is known. Substitute here. U3 plus 0 equal to 5. U3 equal 5. So U3 equal 5. So observe this relation. Ui plus Vj equal Cij. If we know one of these two values, either Ui or Vj, then the other value can be obtained by subtracting from the cost. If Ui is known, then Vj equal Cij minus Ui. If Vj is known, then Ui equal Cij minus Vj. Okay, right. Next, and consider the cell 2, 3 cell. For 2, 3 cell relation, corresponding U value U2 plus V3 equal cost 9. Substitute V3 0. So U2 equal 9. Next, consider the cell 1, 3 cell U1 plus V3 equal cost 3. Substitute V3 0. So U1 equal 3. Okay, right. Next, to calculate these two values, so here observe. You can take this one. First take this one, 2, 1 cell. this basic cell. For this basic cell U2 is known. Okay. For 2 1 cell, what is the relation? U2 plus V1 equal cost 3. Substitute U2 value, U2 9 plus V1 equal to 3. So V1 equal 3 minus 9 minus 6. So V1 equal minus 6. Next, to calculate this V2 value, consider the cell, that is 3 2 cell. For 3 2 cell, corresponding U value U3 plus V2 equal cost 3. Substitute U3, 5 plus V2 equal 3. V2 equal 3 minus 5 minus 2. Okay. So using this relation, calculate U values and V values. Next, find scalar for each non-basic cell, that is penalty Pij. For non-basic cell I comma j, Pij equal Uy plus Vj minus Cij. For a non-basic cell, sum of corresponding U value and V value minus cost. Okay. For first non-basic cell, 1 1 cell, P11 equal U1 plus V1 minus C11. C11 is cost. So that is U1 3 plus V1 minus 6 minus C11 cost 8. So this is negative. If this value is negative, you need not simplify it. Okay, you can write just negative. So P11 is negative. Next, for second non-basic cell, 1 2 cell. For 1 2 cell, corresponding U value U1 plus V value V2 minus cost C12. So 3 minus 2 minus 7. So negative. Next, for 2 2 cell, P22 is U2 plus V2 minus C22. U2 9 minus 2 minus 8. So 9 minus 10 minus 1. So negative. Okay. For 3 1 cell, U3 plus V1 minus C31. So U3 5, V1 minus 6, cost minus 11. So negative. Okay. So these are the penalties. Next, we verify the optimality condition. What is optimality condition? All Pij less than or equal to 0. So here observe all penalties for non-basic cells are negative. So less than or equal to 0. All Pij less than or equal to 0. So optimal condition is satisfied. Present solution is optimal solution. Then the optimal solution is, you have to write these basic cells. First this cell, that is 1 3 cell. So that is x13 equal to 60. Next, this is basic cell, 2 1 cell, x21 equal to 50. Next, this is basic cell, 2 3 cell, x23 equal to 20. This is cell, 3 2 cell, x32 equal to 80. Okay, so this is epsilon. Epsilon is very small quantity which tends to 0. We can skip this cell. Okay, and minimum transportation cost equal, multiply the amounts corresponding with unit cost. Okay, for this 60 into 3 or 3 into 60 plus 3 into 50 plus 9 into 20 plus 3 into 80, that is 750 rupees. Okay, so this is the transportation schedule. So what is the meaning of this one? From first origin to third destination, number of units to be transported 60. From second origin to first destination 50 units. From second origin to third destination 20 units. From third origin to second destination 80 units. Okay, so this is the transportation schedule, and this is the total transportation cost, which is minimum.